ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरातिसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Okay, so very quick revision for the last class. Right. We'll have in 5 minutes, 7 minutes. So Bhagavad Gita 2.49. Now 2.49 to 5.3, um, Krishna continues with the Bhakti Yoga, and he told before that he was telling about the qualities of Bhakti Yoga. What do you mean by Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga? Right? What do you mean by Buddhi Yoga? From 49 to 53, he tells about what are the qualities, what are the benefits of having Buddhi Yoga. So in this verse, Krishna says that 2.49. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruit of their work are misers. So, what are the abominable what activities he is calling as abominable activities? Which binds us, right? Which keeps us binded into this material world. Those activities are called abominable activities. So, what Krishna is saying? You can keep all these abominable activities, those activities which will bind you to this material world, by doing devotional service. And in that consciousness, surrender to Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruit of their work are called misers. So he is telling that those people who want to enjoy also the fruit, the work they are doing, and then they want to enjoy the fruit, they are called misers. Misers means conjuice, crippled. Right? Why misers? Crippled. Right? Why misers? Because misers are someone like I have that much money, I don't want to give to anyone else. I want to enjoy by myself. Right? But what does Bhagwan say? If you have your fruit, result of the fruit, where should it go? In devotional service, it should be offered to Lord Krishna, right? But if someone wants to keep for themselves and enjoy, they are misers. That's what we call. So in this particular verse, we also saw the material life is called pavarg. Pavarg, not apavarg. Think pavarg. Pavarg means P is for parishram. For everything, for gaining everything, or for survival also, every jeev has to do some parishram or a lot of parishram, right? Without parishram, they are not going to get anything. Parishram means effort. So, what happens after doing a lot of parisram? Then comes pa. So pa work means pa, fa, ba, bha, ma. Then comes pa, fa, right? Pa, fa. Fa is fain, foam. Like when donkeys or horses, when they do a lot of work, the foam started coming out of their mouth. So it is the analogy is giving with the donkey or horse that like they do a lot of parisram and they do so much of parisram that after that they start foaming from their mouth. Right. That is our life also. Like even though we don't foam from our mouth, but we are no less. Actually, they work less than us. Uh, yeah, if you say time wise, not physical strength wise. Right. Not they don't have 16 hours office or any time office, morning to evening, whatever time. Right. So fail, foam and exhaustion. Like foam is a symbolism of exhaustion. Like we do so much work that we get exhausted. And then comes birth. But then because of this kind of work, we get binded. Right. We get attached and binded into this cycle of again doing birth and death and doing all the things again and again. Bisad. And it causes the Bisad also. Bisad means lamentation. Exactly. Dukh. Thing. Dukh or the Bishad. It causes a Bishad. Then comes Bha. Bha is Bhiti. Bhay. Bhay why? Because now that we have done parisram, we have accumulated, we got some result. Now we are fearful that what will happen to that? We have gotten 2 crore, let's say. Okay. Prabhuji is very happy. Right. I have also not seen, I have not seen even 1 crore. Right. So let's say someone got in 2 crore. Now they will be Prabhuji जिस पे बैठ दिया आराम से. They'll be like fearful. Where what will happen to that money? They will try to save the money somewhere. Right, I'll save this. What if the bank goes bankrupt or anything? What if I have put my money and the share market is only going down like happening these days? What if this America-Iran war extends for say 1 year? Right? What will happen to my share market money? So everyone, whatever we have accumulated, we are bhayabheet for that. We are having the fear for that. And all stops at ma, mrityu. Right? Full stop for all these activities. So these all pa. It's called pavarg. That is the material life. Every jeev has to go through that. Now, our Shastra says that opposite of this is apavarg. Apavarg means which breaks this particular cycle of papa. That's called apavarg, the circuit breaker, which includes Shraddha, Rati, and Bhakti. Means when we go on the path of devotional service, it becomes apavarg. We slowly get into the path of apavarg, and that is the path of liberation. So that's what we discussed, pavarg and apavarg. Then in 2.50 we discussed, Krishna says that a man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Right. So, what he is saying that first, the first benefit, actually, first benefit is started from here that they consciously surrender unto the Lord, those who want to enjoy the food. Keep all abominable activities far distant. That is the first benefit. Like all these abominable activities, when we started doing bhakti, that is kept apart. Second benefit comes, the person rids himself of both good and bad reaction, even in this life. Right. Therefore, strive for yoga. So why good and bad? We understand. So we discussed. We understand that bad reactions should be. It's good. Bad reactions are going away. But then why good reaction? So we discussed that both good reaction and bad reaction. That is karma and vikarma, not a karma. Both karma and vikarma are two sides of the same coin. You do good, you'll go to heaven. You do bad, you go to hell. You do mix, maybe mix of both. But you'll be in this material world only, in this cycle, going up, down, here and there, and that's how the life would be. Right. So Papa Punya both are two sides of the same coin, and both binds us to this material world. So that's what Lord is saying. Someone who is engaged in devotional service, they will get rid of both good and bad reaction because they will be doing akarma. Acha, felt like a needle. Imagine it's not a needle. Needle will not have these grooves, right? So, two sides of the same coin. This is one coin. Left side is good, right side is bad, or you decide. Right side is good is right, left side is bad. Vampanthi's are bad, you can decide. Leftists are bad, that too you can decide. Actually, both are not good. That's what Krishna is saying. Okay? So, both are not good. Only devotional service is good. Okay? Then 2.51. Krishna says, thus, by thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the result of work in this material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. So, three more benefits is being discussed here. That they will free themselves from the result of the work in this material world. So, again, extension of the previous one. No good deed, no bad deed. They are not worried about that. And those both are going to bind people. So now they are freeing themselves by the results of the material world. Right? Because they are doing only akarma, not karma, not vikarma. So they are freeing themselves. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death. And because they are doing akarma, they will be free from the cycle of birth and death. And attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. And they will go to the Golok Vrindavan, Vaikuntha, wherever, a spiritual world where there is no misery. So these three benefits are mentioned here. Then in 2.52, Lord again says that when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to that has been heard and that has to be heard. Hmm? So what is trying to say that dense forest? And we discussed that dense forest means, who remember? Karm Kanda, the words of the Vedas. The most part of the Vedas are nothing but Karm Kand. So people get stuck. They see that we are doing Karm Kand, right? We are going to get benefit. We are getting benefit. Any Karm Kand they do, they get the result, and it's a good result what they want. Say someone is doing Rajsu Yajna, they get the Raj. Someone is doing Putreshti Yajna, they are going to get Putra, right? And they say like, okay, doing this, I'm getting that. They get stuck into that only. So what happens? They keep on generating punya, punya, punya. This is punya. Karma can't generate punya. They keep on generating punya, go to heaven, enjoy there, exhaust that, come back to Mrityu Lok again. Cycle continues. Right? So, when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, and that is Maya, that is delusion. It says that you do this and you'll get the good result. Why are you seeing somewhere else? Huh. Indifferent मतलब आप indifferent मतलब ये होता है I don't care in a way I'm not worried about it मुझे उसकी चिंता नहीं है तो indifferent कि किसी के घर में लड़ाई हो रही है आप indifferent है उससे आपको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता हाँ आप ऐसे समझिए उसको कि मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता तो आप अ, वो जो उसमें लिखा हुआ है सुनने योग्य और सुनने के योग्य ठीक समथिंग विच हैज बीन हर्ड जो सुना हुआ है और सुनने के योग्य है विच विल बी हर्ड दो इसका मतलब ये है कि वेदों का नॉलेज जो है ठीक तो आप इन सब चीजों से कर्म कांड का जो सेक्शन है उससे इनडिफरेंट हो जाओगे उसका मतलब ये अन्य मनस्क मतलब ये ठीक and then last time the last verse which we discussed when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas and when it remains fixed in the trance of self realization then you will have attained the divine consciousness right तो यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहे हैं कि जब आपका माइंड अगेन इट्स नथिंग बट मिक्सचर ऑफ और समझिए समरी ऑफ जो भी पहले डिस्कस हुआ है। जब आपका माइंड कर्म कांड, वेदों का जो फ्लावरी लैंग्वेज है, from those कर्म कांड section, right? When your mind comes out of that कर्म कांड part of the Vedas and it remains fixed in transcendental self-realization, right? When you come to know about yourself that I'm the soul and my job is to serve the Lord. When you have that self-realization, you will attain the divine consciousness. It is again summarizing whatever we have discussed till in previous version. Any question? नहीं? आगे चलेंगे? ठीक है. So we'll discuss today. Now, till now, Lord was saying, Krishna was saying everything. Now it is time for Arjun to speak after a long time. Arjuna was listening very attentively, and we can see how attentively he was listening. Right. So repeat after me. Arjuna uvacha स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम् स्थित प्रज्ञ अर्जुन उवाच स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्. Anyone from Prabhuji side? अर्जुन उवाच स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्. Anyone from Mataji side? अर्जुन उवाच स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्. So translation by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk?" So now, did I say that Arjuna was listening very attentively? The answer is in this verse, but you have to relate. Why do you think he was listening very attentively? That is what he is asking. But why did I say that, or why it is said that he is listening very attentively? वो सब तो ठीक है, वो सब गीता के वाई गीता एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. इसका आंसर है यहाँ 2.53 समाधि. यहाँ पे कृष्णा यूज द वर्ड समाधि and Arjuna now got curious. Samadhi. Okay. He told about Samadhi, but self-realized, one-pointed, focused people who are self-realized and they know what they want to do. Right? They know the purpose of life, what they have to achieve. So now Arjuna is now he is very curious. Okay, Krishna, now tell me, what are the symptoms? What are the characteristics of those people who are in Samadhi, also called Sthit Prajna? Right. The people who are in Samadhi are also called Sthit Prajna. So what are the symptoms? What are the characteristics of those people? How do they act? Right. Who are in Samadhi. Then Kim Prabhaseta. How do they speak? Then Kimasita. Kim Asita. How do they sit? And then Kim Prajet Kim. How do they walk? Now it feels like क्या question है? कैसे बैठते हैं, कैसे खड़े होते, कैसे चलते, मतलब what kind of questions are there, right? So if you think that way, yes, he wants to know more about them, but there is a deep meaning of every single word here, right? So the question comes here: how does one recognize Stitha Prajna? What do you think? How can you, if you see some sadhu, some sannyasi, some yogi, how do you recognize that they are Stitha Prajna? Just think, guess. How can you think about it? That they are Stitha Prajna, they are in samadhi. Samadhi does not always mean बाबा बन गए 12 साल तक और वर्ल्ड से कोई लेना देना नहीं. It does not always mean that. It means one pointed focus. Right. So how do you know someone is in samadhi? Okay, they will not react to the external things. Okay, very good. Always engaged in the devotional service. Yes. They are indifferent to the world. दुनिया जाए भाड़ में हम तो. One way true, material world. But that's not really true. Right. We'll discuss that some other day. That's not really true because a Vaishnava can never be indifferent to the world. The biggest quality of a Vaishnava is having compassion. They are compassionate about every single jiva near around them. Even एक कीड़ा भी होता है, उसके लिए भी they are compassionate. तभी तो हम कहते हैं एक चींटी को भी हम नहीं मार सकते. Forget about eating chicken. Right? The compassion is the best thing. If someone is indifferent to the world, that means they are alone. हमारा ABCD follow ही नहीं होगा वहाँ. If they are alone, A ही नहीं है वहाँ पे तो. If they are indifferent, so that's not really correct. They are indifferent to the material things of the world. That you can say, but not to the world. हाँ प्रभु जी आप कुछ बोलिए. Correct. So, any other thing? Speculation. Okay. That's also correct. स्थिर प्रज्ञ means जो literal meaning होता है, that is also one of the meaning. One of the meaning also has someone who is in some bhav, equipoised in any circumstances. Again, Krishna will explain this in further verses, right? But you all are correct. Every answer was correct. We cannot recognize a person by their dress, कि they are स्थित प्रज्ञ, and that is the biggest thing. हाँ, नहीं, I am coming to that. ठीक है. We cannot recognize a स्थित प्रज्ञ person just by what they are wearing, their external appearance, how they look, right? And that is the biggest problem in our society actually happened. People think that अगर भगवा पहन लिया है तो वो तो साधु ही है, और उस चक्कर में मैक्सिमम लोग मतलब a lot of people they get cheated, a lot of fraud happens on that because that should never be the criteria कि what they are wearing, what is their external appearance. कि दाढ़ी बढ़ा है तो बाबा है, क्लीन शेव है तो बाबा नहीं है, राइट? होता है ऐसा, बहुत सारे लोग इस्कॉन वाले तो क्लीन शेव रहते हैं, कैसे बाबा है? मतलब जब तक दाढ़ी नहीं बढ़ाओगे तब तक बाबा नहीं बनोगे. मतलब दैट्स, फिर तो ओसामा बिन लादेन बाबा होने चाहिए, बाबा ओसामा कीजिए, राइट? मतलब दैट शुड नॉट बी ए क्राइटेरिया, राइट? एंड ऑल्सो उसके बोलने से आपने कहा, ठीक, बोलने से भी आप केवल नहीं डिसाइड कर सकते. बहुत सारे लोग के कथनी करने में बहुत अंतर होता है. व्हाट दे स्पीक दे डोंट प्रीच, व्हाट दे प्रीच दे डोंट फॉलो. प्रीच व्हाट यू टीच, नहीं, टीच व्हाट यू प्रीच, उल्टा बोल दिया मैंने, राइट? अपोजिट ऑल्सो, राइट? टीच व्हाट यू प्रीच, मतलब जो आप करते हो वही आप बताओ. तो a lot of people they say something and they don't follow. कल को मैं आके यहाँ बोलूँ कि अपना घर बहुत ऑर्गेनाइज रखो, अपना घर एकदम ऑर्गेनाइज रखना चाहिए, कितने लोग यहाँ सुनेंगे मेरी बात? पहले कहेंगे हाँ प्रभु जी बहुत बढ़िया. See inside. That will be the first reaction when I said that. कितने लोगों ने ऐसा सोचा? Good, he is only honest guy. हाँ. Yes. वो ऐसा सोचते हैं, बट एक्चुअली एक्शन स्पीक्स लाउडर देन द वर्ड। इवन इफ समवन इज नॉट प्रीचिंग यहाँ बैठ के, इफ दे आर डूइंग ऑल द गुड क्वालिटीज ऑफ वैष्णव, उनका घर एकदम परफेक्टली अरेंज है, आप जाओगे देखोगे, यू विल लुक लाइक यू आर इन वैकुंठा एक्चुअली। दे डोंट हैव टू टेल यू एनीथिंग। चीजें बहुत मतलब देयर एक्शन स्पीक्स, वो जो करते हैं। कल हमारा सेंटर का एनिवर्सरी था, तो एक माता जी ने बोला कि शी कम्स वेरी फ्यू टाइम्स in the center, not every time because she lives very far away. But say that every time I come, I learn something from people. Every time she learns something new, and I try to implement it. Not everyone preaches there. Only Namprem Prabhu preaches, does the preaching there. But your action is also preaching, right? If I'm going into धोती कुर्ता, right? और रास्ते में जाके मैं बढ़िया पानी पूरी खा रहा हूँ अंदर, और भाई और हंसी ठहाके चाय ब्लेंडर स्प्राइट और जो भी thing, then what would be that, right? What would be I representing, right? And not only dress, why I said that, because even if people who don't know me, they will realize कि अरे ये बंदा तो say he is guy from ISKCON and is doing all those things which they say don't do, for regulative principle, breaking all of them at same time, probably, right? That's what they will say. But even if I'm not in dhoti kurta, let's say, and if I'm doing that thing, someone who knows me, they said, प्रभु जी यहाँ क्या कर रहे हैं? बोलते तो कुछ और है, तो वो 10 लोग और बताएंगे, ये सब ऐसे ही होता है। ठीक, तो एक्शन स्पीक्स लाउडर देन वर्ड। सो केवल बोलने से ही नहीं आप कर सकते। Then what decides? There much deeper understanding to that. That's what we'll discuss in this verse, right? So first we'll go into what does all what which we already discussed. What are the symptoms? How does he speak? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Now, what does these mean? Right? This looks very simple actions, right? Speaking, sitting, walking. What are these things? But it has a deeper meaning. That what are the symptoms of Stitha Prajna? How does this person act when he is put in a disturbed situation, adverse condition? जब तक लाइफ में सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है, until everything is good, everyone is perfect person. The moment they get into distress condition, ऑफिस से प्रेशर आ गया, all the loyalty about office manager, everything comes out, right? लाइफ में कुछ हो गया, then everything will come out that time. That is a real test for our patience and all those qualities, right? So he is asking, how does this person act when he is put into disturbed situation? That is the meaning of this word. How does he speak? Means it's not like how does he speak, अच्छा बोलता है कि बुरा बोलता है, क्या बोलता है, but it means that, it not only means that कैसा बोलता है, it also and majorly it means that how does he respond in distress situation. Does he give up? Does he lose his temper? Does he start shouting? कि चीजें एकदम परफेक्ट मेरे हिसाब से होनी चाहिए थी, थोड़ा सा इधर उधर हो गई, ये क्या कर दिया, अरे भाई ये क्या है, ऐसे थोड़े कर रहा थे, वो मंदिर में चिल्ला। दे आर नॉट स्थिर प्रज्ञ, राइट? लोग देखेंगे, हम भी ऐसा करेंगे। इफ वी आर डूइंग सर्विस, पीपल विल सी, पीपल विल नोटिस, right? Thousands of people come and visit to the temple and to the festival, and we are the representative. Anything which is not correct thing we do, you think no one is watching, there are 1,000 people who would be watching, or even if 10 people are watching, that will become 1,000, because Chinese whisper, and with mirch masala, you did one small thing, किसी को बस आपने जोर से बोल दिया, अरे वो तो चिल्लाया, उसके ऊपर गालियां भी दी, फिर तीसरा बंदा गालियां दी, अरे वो तो हाथ उठाने वाला था, आपको क्या पता, आपने नहीं देखा था, वो तो हाथ भी उठाने वाला था, चौथा तो मार भी दे देगा, और पांचवा तो पता नहीं क्या कर रहे, राइट? चाइनीज whisper goes like that. So that's how we should react, like how he choose to respond during the adverse condition, the distressed or disturbed situation. Then how does he sit? It looks very simple. How does he sit? कैसे बैठा है, ये कौन देख रहा है? क्रॉस लेग बैठा है, पैर फैला के बैठा है? No, it is not the management class, right? कि ऑफिस का मैनेजमेंट क्लास नहीं है यहाँ पे कि कोई कैसे बैठा है, ठीक? What does it mean? How he choose to control his senses in those conditions. बैठना मतलब क्या होता है? When you sit, you control your senses, right? You control your walking tendency, or you will like, भाई थोड़ा थम जाओ, थोड़ा बैठ जाओ. That means take rest. Don't do a lot of things. Don't become too active. Such active. So it means that how does he stop his senses from sense object? There could be a lot of things you can do. There could be a lot of things people can do. Right? How do you stop? How do you choose to stop when you should not? Like in very recent thing, very relevant actually. A lot of things happened in last, but not very bad things. A lot of things happened in last a couple of weeks, and then it again we did counseling from Nampreet Prabhu, and what he told that it are related to service again. What he told that why do you try to find fault in other service? Are you perfect? Why not try to perfect your own service rather than finding fault in other service? It's very easy to see a fault in others, right? But it's very difficult to perfect ourselves. What we are doing, how can I make that perfect? He said that since now I am in a temple committee, I see hundreds of things where I can say that it can be improved or how it can be improved. I choose to shut my mouth. I don't say because that is not my area. That is not my job. Let them learn. Let them fall and learn. Right? Because I cannot put my nose into everything. But what service is given to me, I will perfect that. I will not try to perfect others. Let me perfect myself. So that is the point he is saying. How does he stop his senses from the sense object? तो हम भी ऐसे बाहर जाएंगे देखेंगे अरे ये ऐसे हो जाता तो कितना अच्छा होता वो ऐसे हो जाता कितना अच्छा होता आप अपनी सर्विस पे ध्यान दो make that perfect everything else will fall and in place right a very important lesson then how does he walk how does he allow his now walk previously he was sitting like controlling his senses okay take control of the senses stop it but then how does he walk now if you have to actually utilize your senses there are some times when we have to utilize our senses, our mind, intelligence, ego, right, false or the correct one. Then how does the person allow his senses to move when he has to receive the sense object? That means that if I am seeing something which can be improved in my area, am I started shouting on all other volunteers who are helping me, or I am taking all together and I am using my way of talking, I am using my say whatever senses are there, hand, helping hand, whatever, right? I am using all my senses so that it becomes perfect in a way that everyone grows together and no one feels bad also at the same time. It should be constructive input, not making anyone feel bad or किसी को नीचा दिखाने के लिए putting sarcasm or showing your superiority that you don't know, I'm superior, I know more. Not that kind of thing. Right? That's what he's asking. How does that person react? So these are the questions. Any question? Arjuna is asking question. Do you have any question? Or only Arjuna will ask the question. No one else. Right. So let's see what Srila Prabhupada says there. So one who is Krishna conscious has a particular nature, talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. So everyone has a particular way of doing things. So a very simple example. When you go on the road, just by seeing the person, you can actually realize does this person is doing well or not. Most of the time, that is correct. Right? The way he walks, the way he talks, what he is wearing, a lot of things. बाल कैसे कटे हैं राइट एक बहुत सिंपल सा मैं आपको एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ एक बहुत पढ़ा लिखा बंदा भी ठीक हु इज ड्राइविंग स्विगी और रैपिडो और डूइंग डिलीवरी they always have one similar kind of external appearance. You always realize, okay, this person. One day, one software guy and he decides to, okay, let me also try my hand. One day I want to do that. you will always recognize that this guy is not, probably he is not fitting in here. He is someone maybe doing it first time or a little polished, right? Not really that category of people who are doing it on regular basis. Right? You can recognize it. So everyone have a way of doing things. A rich person, the way he walks, talks, right, he speaks, these all are different than a poor person. So they have their own symptom. Similarly, a person who is in Krishna consciousness, a bhakt, they also have their symptom. Go and talk to some person who is a part of, similarly, your office, and on the same time someone sitting beside him who is, say, doing bhakti yoga. There will be stark difference between them. The way they are doing things, the way they talk, the way they take things in the same situation. There will be stark difference. So that's what Arjuna is trying to know here. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks. For speech is the most important quality of any man. Right? Why? He gives a very beautiful example here. A fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak. How many of us have realized that? ठीक, जब तक नहीं बोलता, वाह क्या स्मार्ट बंदा है, मतलब ठीक है, एकदम बढ़िया से कपड़े पहन के आया और फुल टिप टॉप, फुल पॉलिश्ड और एकदम बढ़िया से बैठा है, लाइक वाह कितना सीनियर होगा ये वो. द मोमेंट ही ऑफिसर है, ऐसा तो बिल्कुल नहीं लगता था. Right. So, and a lot of us have seen some people like that, right? In our offices, in our circle, school, huh? Right. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is trying to say that. A certainly well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. Same example. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. तो एक कहावत होती है हिंदी में. I forgot exact कहावत क्या है, but it means that कि आप तभी तक बुद्धिमान हो जब तक आपका मुंह बंद है. The moment your mouth is open, your secret is revealed. So you are intelligent until your mouth is closed. Till then, everyone will think you are very intelligent. So the immediate symptom of Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and matter related to him. Like Prabhuji said, he only does devotional service, talks about Krishna. He does not do nonsense talk of the politics here and there. It's not like he, yes, the perfect goal is only talk about Krishna. But a lot of time we waste in doing prajalpa. अरे यहाँ ये हो रहा है, वहाँ वो हो रहा है, और ऑफिस में क्या चल रहा है, अच्छा ये हो गया तुम्हारे ऑफिस में, ये कुछ नहीं होगा. कल को जॉब जानी है, जाएगी, ठीक, आपके बात करने से कुछ नहीं होगा, और प्रमोशन मिलना है तो भी होगा. Both things will be happening, and wasting time, spending hours and hours talking about politics, cricket, this and that, and in the end what happens? I don't have time for Bhagavad Gita class. अरे भाई अभी तो टाइम ही नहीं है, इतना बिजी है मेरा शेड्यूल, बस 5 घंटे बात किया. I did not get even time to talk for 6 hours. I had to stop at hour 5. So busy in life, right? So the like complete goal or the topmost goal is that someone who talks only about Krishna, and that stays someone who is in. That is called in samadhi, Stitha Prajna. Right? Not before that. So we'll go to the next one. Any question? No? Now Krishna asked the question. Arjuna asked the question. Now Krishna will give the answers. And in this whole chapter, he will only give the answer till verse 72. So we'll go to the verse 55. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushta Stitha Pragyasta Dochyate. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्ट स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. Anyone from Prabhuji side? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yatha Kama Sarvan Partha Manugata Atmanyevatmana Tushta Sthitpragyastadochyate. Anyone from Matal side? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yatha Kama Sarvan Partha Manugata Atmanyevatmana Tushta Sthitpragyastadochyate. Okay, alright. So, translation by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said. Now, Lord will again speak. O Parth, when a man gives up all varieties of desires for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Right? A big meaning. So we'll break it up. That when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, means he wants to enjoy the things for themselves. When he gives up that, which arises from mental concoction, and it does not come from outside. It actually is that I will get this, I'll be happy, I'll enjoy. So it comes from the mental concoction. And when his mind thus purified finds satisfaction in the self alone. After giving up, he finds that the happiness is not outside but inside. He starts finding happiness within himself, with the self alone. Then he is said to be the pure transcendental consciousness. So he is answering the question one. What was the question one? Yad? What are the symptoms of Sthit Prajna? What are the characteristics of Sthit Prajna? So now Krishna starts talking about the general symptoms of a person who is in Samadhi. So first thing what he said that he gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, and he starts looking for the um, satisfaction in self alone. It means that he starts finding the pleasure within himself. How he can do that? Right. So yeah, means he does not look for the pleasure outside of himself. So anyone enjoys the worldly pleasure? Yes. If so, first symptom is like he is not looking outside to get the worldly pleasure. So one symptom he said that how will I know? The question was how will you know someone is in Sthit Prajna, someone is in Krishna consciousness? That he tries to find the pleasure in himself, not seeking pleasure outside. So anyone who is seeking outside pleasure, he is certainly, you can be certain that he is not a person who is in samadhi. For example, a sadhu who wants to accumulate all the material things. Accumulate, I'm saying. I'm not saying using. Using is not a problem, right? Accumulation is a problem. Srila Prabhupada also used to go in the car and flight and all. But then a lot of people say why he did not use. He was sadhu, sannyasi. Why he was using all those materialistic things? Why? Anyone knows the answer? He was traveling to other country. He can use some boat, swimming. Okay, how do you know he was not a good swimmer? Okay, leave the travel to other country. How about in the same country? Okay. हाँ माता जी एक मिनट हाँ करेक्ट व्हाट हाँ so all of you are correct no problem हाँ तो आपको कोई 1-2 करोड़ 3-4 करोड़ दे देगा भाई माता नहीं हैप्पी कब ऐसा होगा कब वो दिन आएगा ठीक so yeah that's what we have to you're right you all are right they were offering themselves of course he is not buying for himself so you know what it's called anyone knows yukta vairagya yes you're right it's called yukta vairagya where you use whatever resources available to you for the devotional service. He was using those things for devotional service. Like Mata said, not for his own enjoyment. If he goes, say, you have to take a lecture in IIT Hyderabad, and you also have to take lecture somewhere else, but you decide, nahi, main to sadhu, I will go only by foot. By the time you will reach IIT Hyderabad and come back, you can only give one lecture. Maybe if you reach on time and you have strength, right, and strength to come back, then only you can give one lecture. In the same time, you can teach hundreds or thousands more people. When everything is property of Krishna, why not use it for the Krishna's benefit? That should be the mindset. When someone comes with that mindset, that is called Stitha Prajna. That's called Yukta Vairagya. So Srila Prabhupada, what he was doing was Yukta Vairagya. Right? Using whatever thing is available, like mic, laptop. These are nothing but Yukta Vairagya. Using the materialistic thing. These are all materialistic things. I can use a laptop to watch something nonsense also. Movie series, TV or whatever. Right? I can use the mic to sing Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Right? Or I can use to sing Jai Radha Madhav. The choice is ours. The things, it's not the fault of the thing. Like एक हमने वो एग्जांपल दिया था चाकू की गलती नहीं कि किसी के पेट में जा रहा है सब्जी काट रहा है. It's the person who is doing that action. You cannot blame Chaku for that. Right. So that's what he's saying. So anyone who enjoys things for themselves, you can be certain that he is not a Sthit Prajna. Then a question comes: why does one look for happiness outside of oneself? What do you think? Huh? He has wrongly identified himself that he is body. Okay. Okay. What else? Why do you look things outside? When do you look things outside? आपको अगर बैंक से लोन लेना है आप क्यों बैंक जाते हो लोन लेने? Why? Well, that is outside, right? One is like I can buy the home myself. I don't need any money. Or I have to take loan from bank. Why do you go outside? That question actually I answered. हमारे पास नहीं है. They feel that they are incomplete. They don't have sufficient. So same way, the people also think that who are looking for happiness outside, they think that they cannot get happiness inside. That's why they go out to look things outside. That's what their feeling is. That they feel it's I'm not adequate. I don't have adequate things to get the happiness. So maybe if I have a bigger house, I'll be happy. I have a beautiful wife, more beautiful wife, think I'll be happy. Or I have a bigger car, I'll be happy. They look for things outside, and that's where they look because they think they feel themselves incomplete or the happiness they cannot get from inside. They look things for outside. They think that something else will give them happiness, not the things which they have. कि घर पे जो आइसक्रीम है वो खा के मजा नहीं आएगा बाहर की आइसक्रीम खा के मजा आएगा यस राइट प्रभु जी रिमेंबर्स द विल स्मिथ मूवी अच्छा ओके आई थॉट दैट मूवी यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट परस्यूट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस कोर्स एब्सोल्युटली दैट नो नॉट दैट आल्सो We have a Pursuit of Happiness course also, by the way, running. Megha's girls preaching class. That is Pursuit of Happiness only. The name is that. Right. So they think that if they get the things from outside, it will make them happy. Ah, yes, Prabhu.
इसमें ये भी तो reason हो सकता है like we have been brought up like from childhood we have been brought up like that if we have to get happy like अगर छोटे बच्चे को देखें रो रहा है तो टॉय दे दिया या मतलब ऐसा किया है कि ट्रेनिंग ही वैसा है
We are trained in our life like that कि we do this and then we'll become happy. It does not mean that कि the training is correct. Someone is getting trained to keep hitting people on the road, and they said, "मेरे तो like we can take the story of Brigari, right? His father taught him कि to kill half, to kill the animal only halfway, right? So he thought that this is the only correct thing because my father taught me. It's my generations they are doing this, so it's correct. But that does not mean it is correct, right? We have been trained like that. The training is not correct, and that's what we are coming to know now. Yes, Prabhu.
Generally, constitution also, they written the human life is for pursuit of pleasure.
Even if it is not written in the constitution, everyone knows that. Whatever in our life we do, it's for pursuit of happiness only. We all want.
Pleasure.
You get pleasure when you're happy, right? It's the same thing. It's a synonym only, right? Happiness. When you feel happy, when I get pleasure. It's the same thing. But you don't need a constitution to tell you that. Every task we do is for happiness. Even we are sitting in the class also to get happiness only. We'll get the mental happiness, spiritual happiness. Right. So, yes, Germans have to be told you will get happiness. Right. That is the goal of life. But the funny thing is they don't realize from where they will get eternal happiness. Germany is one of the very difficult places for Krishna consciousness, by the way. A staunch Christian country. Yes. Right. Very difficult places. So, yeah, how can we understand that example? Anyone knows what is that? Which deer? Kasturi mrig. Yes. कैसे पता चला माता जी? Kasturi mrig. Musk deer. You might now remember by some perfumes name. Fragrances, perfume. मस्त डियर नहीं, मस्क डियर है. वो मस्त भी रहता है. अच्छा वो मस्क, not musk deer. Musk means kasturi. So this deer has a kasturi. It's a very strong fragrance and very intoxicating. Right. That's why we have this fragrance and like क्या बोलते हैं, perfumes and all. Right. So it is stuck. It is stored in on her underbelly. And she always keep, or he or she, whatever it is, the animal, the deer always keeps smelling that, and they get mad from where it is coming, and they run around all the jungle here, and they are trying to find what is the source of this. They can never find it. They don't realize it. It's within themselves only what they are searching for, and that is the same condition with us humans. It's inside us. We are searching here and there, everywhere in the world, except inside. Right. Our condition is also like musk deer. The musk is within us. The happiness is within us. The enjoyment is actually within us. But we are searching in all the other places outside. Bada ghar, badi gaadi, more wives. So thankfully Constitution does not allow most of the people having more wives. नहीं तो वो भी होता. Right. So happiness is not something outside but within us. Very important point to know. It's not outside, but we have to search for the happiness within us. So, but this, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj told one story that one day a 152-year-old man comes to him. He recently passed away from the very bitter divorce, very frustrated experience. Somehow he could pass that phase. After a few days when he met him, he's like, I'm going to get married again. He's like, बाल सफेद हो गए, दाढ़ी सफेद हो गई, बॉडी काम नहीं करती है, ठीक है, and why are you going to get married? I think that I'll be happy with that. He said, now is time for go to Vanprasth 51. You are already in one, right? It is time to go to one, right? Go to one, right? Why are you going to get married? But that's what. Even after getting the bitter experience, even after understanding that it is not going to give us happiness, we again try to do same thing. Again and again and again. Thinking that, okay, last time it did not work out. This time it will work out. I know I will. It will work out. And we try the same thing again. Why does that happen? Anyone knows? क्या है ये? किसका प्रभाव है? हाँ? मन का प्रभाव, माया. Why is that strong? मन, correct. Mind convinces us. Last time it did not work. You did that mistake. You correct it and this time for sure. हाँ, थोड़ा सा एडजस्ट कर लो, ठीक. इस बार तो श्योर, लाइफ लॉन्ग, नो डिवोर्स, 7 जन्म का रिश्ता, right? Even after having those experiences, but mind and in the end, power, Maya is so strong. That is the power of Maya. It tells us that it will be out all right this time. Right? We forget all our previous experiences, thinking that now sab changa si. Matlab, everything is good now. That's a Punjabi saying, changa, sab changa si. I don't know from where it came, maybe some movie or song, no idea. Right. So happiness is not something which is outside, but it is within us. But we need to know. We need to find out. So we are talking about man. So in Bhagavad Gita 6.6, Bhagwan Krishna says that Bandhuratmat manastasya yenat manajita anat manastu satrutve vartetatmaya satruvat. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. That is the man. Right? If we control our man, if we conquer the man, then it will become our the best friend. It will work as we want. But if it is uncontrolled, right, our life is certainly going to become hell. Right? Uncontrolled mind takes us on the very uncertain rides here and there. Try this, try that, do this, do that. In the end, yeah, nothing comes out of all those endeavors. Right. So controlling the mind, like we remember this photo. Where is the mind? Here. The rings, ropes. The ropes is the mind. The horses are sense objects. All our sense objects are like that, right? Horses are sense objects. Every horse wants to go to some different direction. The tongue wants to taste something good. The nose wants to smell something good. Right? Every object is something different. And they want to do, ears want to hear something good. And if all things are segregated here and there, then all will try to, ye nahi wo. And they send this sense signal through the mind to the intelligence. Mind gets the signal, it stores, okay, this tasted good. So next time I have the memory that this will taste good. And it sends the signal to its intelligence. Intelligence is this guy who is chariot driver. So it is from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is compared with the chariot. Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Or some Upanishad. One of our scripture only, right? And so here the horses are going here and there. The mind keeps on noticing that. He keeps on sending signals, and the intelligence is not able to control the mind. If you cannot control the rope, the mind, the obvious thing is horses will go here and there, and your chariot will be very smooth ride. It's a sarcastic remark. How smooth we know, how it would be. Think of driving a car and doing this, right? Constantly. Prabhuji try mat karega. Right? How it would be. So that's how this would be. So intelligent person doesn't pay much heed to the voice of the mind because it's the mind's job. It will always register the best thing and it will, let's try that, let's try that. But intelligence is something, that is Buddhi Yoga. Intelligence is something to know what is good for me, what is not. Is eating so much of sweet in prasadam good for me? Like every time I have? Right. So I'm not an intelligent person. Because every time some Mahaprasadam is given, and always that Mahaprasadam is sweet. No one gives me salty thing. However I want. Right. और एक बार पड़ गया तो खाना तो है. So intelligence stops us doing something which is not good for us. So our intelligence should tell, stop the materialistic thing. Take the name of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and go back from this material world, back to Godhead. That is the intelligence. Right. So intelligent person does not pay heed to the voice of mind always. So let's see Srila Prabhupada what he writes. So he writes that consequently it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. Now why it is said that mental concoction? We just discussed. Because it's a mind which gives the signal. This was good, let's try that. The mind only sends signal to intelligence. Right? That's why it's called mental concoction. And artificially such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one engages in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous effort. Very important line. He's talking about the desire. We cannot stop the desires artificially. So we discussed this before also that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's story, one Brahmana, he was so frustrated with his wife, he's like, Mahaprabhu, I want to come with you for your Sankirtan movement. I want to leave my home. Right, because he was frustrated from his family. Mahaprabhu said, no, you stay here and you do the Krishna Prachar from here itself. Don't go, don't come with me. Right, he stopped him. Because if someone takes the sannyas or if someone takes the renunciation forcefully by thinking something, it won't be with full heartedness. And your desires are not gone, it will keep on coming back. Let's say someone said that from this class tomorrow, Prabhuji, with your permission, I am going to jungle. That's it. No more class from next week. For me. All the best. And I am going to the jungle. Why, Prabhuji? You know, आपने इतना बोला, this material world. So बस स्थित प्रज्ञ होने के लिए मैं जंगल में जा रहा हूँ. तो I'll ask Prabhuji, but you are not ready. Yeah, I'll become ready. वहाँ जाके हो जाऊंगा. जब पानी में I can give example also. जब पानी में कूदते तो स्विमिंग आ ही जाती है. जंगल में जाएंगे तो स्थित प्रज्ञ भी हो ही जाएंगे. That does not work. That is never going to work. Because you are not purified. You are not ready to go. Okay. If some soldier is sent, if some person is sent on the border who does not have practice, who has not made up his mind that he will die, it will only cause harm to the country. That's why there is a big training, years of training in the army before anyone is sent on the battlefield. You don't send just like that. It's not Ukraine war, where all the soldiers died and send anyone. That's why the war is so long now. Because both sides are employing whoever was not soldier. But yeah, separately. So, these all are game of desire. Very important thing to know. This all thing is game of desire. If someone wants to desire that I want to do a lot of social work, social service, right? That is their desire is to do social service. Social service means what? To serve? Serve who? Bhagwan? No, that is not social service. That is also a social service, but not the direct way of saying social service. To desire humans, animals, and all those things. If their desire is to serve humans and animals, why would they go to Vaikuntha? What is the logic that they will go to Vaikuntha? Someone has done all his life only social service. Right, Mataji, today she did not come. Actually, I put this point for her mainly, if she come, because that was her question. Right, if someone's desire is to do social service, if I have a desire that I want to go to battlefield and serve my country by doing war or participate in the war. Why will I be sent to the ONGC to take out oil from the rigs? That doesn't make any sense, right? So same way, if someone's desire is to do social service, that is to serve humans, animals and all those things, why would they go to Vaikuntha? It does not make any sense. There is no logic in that. And that's why, even though someone who has done all the good things in his whole life, because it was their desire to serve the mortal beings, they will remain in this mortal world and do those things again and again. A very simple understanding. If someone's desire is to serve Krishna, they will not be here. Once they purified, Krishna will call them. You come here and serve me directly. Why would you be here? Because being here means you have to serve others also. You cannot live without serving. Right? You have to serve others also. If you want to serve me alone, come to Vaikuntha, serve me alone. That's a very simple understanding. People, when they ask you next time why social service, the people had done all the social service in his whole life, all the punya activity, why he did not go to Vaikuntha? Because his desire was not that. His desire was to serve here. He is here. Someone who had desire to serve there is there. Very simple answer. Right. So that's all his game of desire. Now we can understand by this again one example that what is that? Prison cell, not shell. A prison cell. क्या बोला? जेल बोला था. हाँ, ओके. इतने इतने जी उससे बोला I got confused. Shell बोला है कि जेल बोला है? ठीक ठीक है. हाँ, so it's a prison cell. ठीक है. And this is the inmate. And he's doing he's having all the good behavior. सब लोग उससे बहुत खुश है. Jailer is very happy. He does not bother anyone. He reads and does that. So what happens? If someone is such a good inmate, what happens to them? They get? No, they don't get released. If their term is 10 years, they will serve 10 years until there is again intervention from the court. But until they are in jail, what will happen? क्या करेंगे? मारपीट करेंगे उसको. They will get more freedom. There is something called solitary confinement, right, in jail. Someone is very violent, someone who does not want to follow the law of the jail. They are put into solitary confinement, अकेले ही रहो, with full torture. But someone who is very good behaved, they will be like, okay, you get more access to the library, you get more access, you get more food. Yes, more privilege. They get privilege. But even they get more privilege. Are they out of jail? They are still in the jail. So saying that I'm a good person and this and that, you are still in the jail only. How does it matter? Maximum what will happen? You do all the good things. You'll go to heaven, enjoy. Like the inmate is enjoying. But within the jail, you have certain privilege, you have certain independence. But it's not full independence. It is not complete independence. What they have outside the jail. अगर वही बंदा बाहर आता है, he has full independence. हाँ. Sweden, Finland, there are a lot of Scandinavian countries, and now they are trying to close the jail because now the people doing petty crimes, shoplifting कर लेंगे so that 2-4 महीने जेल में रहने को मिले, must lifestyle, good food, AC, no tension, no need to earn money, so they are closing the jail also. Prabhuji, take care of him. Keep watch on him. India's jails are not that great. Indian jails are not great at all. You'll be in the same cell, you'll do potty also in the cell. You see here. Below that there'll be commode also. Unclean. Leaking. So don't thrive for jail. Take? a lot of things you don't even think of that may happen. So don't try for jail. No petty shoplifting. Right. So he will not get the full independence. Right. Because he is still in the jail. Same thing with us. Right. Now the question comes: how to let go of desires? What do you think? How to let go of desires? Can we let go of desires? Why? Huh? But चंचल मन भी control होता है, right? So can we let go of desire? Is it possible? Yes or no? By yourself मतलब कोई और आके करेगा क्या? हाथ पैर तोड़ देगा ताकि अब चलना बंद? नहीं नहीं मतलब you have to do it yourself only. Again, like even if you are not capable, your desire would be there, and it's all game of desire. That's what I'm trying to tell here. आप भगवान की आरती कैसे करते हैं? It does not matter. What is your भाव? It matters. You are not following Nardiya Pancharatriki. Yes, you may not get that much benefit, but someone is following Nardiya Pancharatriki. दिमाग में चल रहा है इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच, हाथ चल रहा है perfectly, but दिमाग में चल रहा है नारदी क्या कहते हैं इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच. It's not because their desire, their intention is somewhere else. Right? कि काश इंडिया जीत जाता. So that does not work. But if someone who does not know how to do arti, even with full desire, with full intention, they are doing arti of Bhagwan. God takes only intentions. Lord only wants intentions. He does not want your offerings, your things, what you are giving. He does not. Right. So, how to let go of desires? Can you let go of desires? Is it possible? The question is that. क्या लगता है आपको? नहीं लगता है? बोलिए yes, no. It's a simple question. It's possible, but part two is difficult. What else? Possible है? तो मतलब consensus यही है. Easier said than done. बोलना आसान है, करना कठिन है. But is it possible? I'm saying theoretically. Let's say, is it possible? Let's think of theoretically. है या नहीं है? No? So it is possible because it's not property of the soul. The desires do not come from the soul. The desires come from the mind, the subtle body around the soul, the man, buddhi, ahankar. That causes a desire. Like अगर कपड़े पे मेरे थोड़ा सा धूल लग गया, it is possible to do that. But अगर वही धूल ऐसी धूल है, it is so much stuck in the clothes, right? It is a difficult thing, right? It's not easily removable. We have to do purification by surf excel from removing the clay or cloud. Yes, I know what your question is, but Shastra says that the desire is not from the soul; it comes from the man. But the desire in the worldly thing comes from the man. Let me correct that. Right? Material desires, more than the material world, the most of our desires come from the mind. It does not come from the soul. Right? So it's not a property of the soul. The soul has Sat Chit Anand. It does not have desire. Calm. Calm is not for the soul, right? It is always, whenever you say about calm, it means strong desire. It always, you tell in the with respect of the material world, the material body. You don't tell it in respect to the soul, right? Because that's not property of the soul directly. But yes, in the spiritual world also we have desire, but that desire is different. In the spiritual world also we have body, correct? And there it is not our material man, buddhi, ahankar, but it's a spiritual thing. So yes, it can be removed, it can be scraped off, right? But we have to work on it. So let's say how. Okay, so next, 2.56. दुखे दुखे वनु दुखेस्वनुद्विग्नमना दुखेस्व अनुविग्नमना सुखेषु विगता स्पृह वीतराग भय क्रोध स्थिति मुर्निरुच्यते दुखे स्व अनुद्विग्नमना सुखेषु विगत स्पृह वीतराग भय क्रोध स्थित धीर मुनिरुच्यते. Anyone from Prabhu's side? दुखेषु अनुविग्नमना सुखेषु विगत स्पृह वीतराग भय क्रोध स्थित धीर मुनिरुच्यते. Anyone from Mata's side? दुखेषु अनुविग्नमना सुखेषु विगत स्पृह वीतराग भय क्रोध स्थितिर्मुनिरुच्यते. So translation by His Divine Grace, Srimad Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries of all, elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called the sage of steady mind. Now, Krishna is going to answer the third question. What is the third question? पहला क्वेश्चन क्या था? How one acts in distress situation. What is the second question? Actually, with respect में, this is the second question which is going to answer. How does he speak? How does he speak? How does he respond to distress condition? So, what Krishna is saying, what Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport, one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and the one who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called sage of steady mind. Right. Now here the word comes threefold miseries. Anyone knows what is that? Three. No fourfold. Threefold. No, that is the subtle body. Correct. So it is आध्यात्मिका, आदि भौतिका, आदि दैविका. एक आध्यात्मिक, आदि भौतिक, आदि दैविक. आध्यात्मिक मतलब the miseries, the distress which is coming from our mind and body, by our mental and bodily distress. That is आध्यात्मिका, आत्मा. ठीक, जो आत्मा से आती है, अंदर से आती है. ठीक, अंदर क्या है आपके बॉडी एंड माइंड. Mental and bodily distress is called adhyatmika. Then adhibhautika, suffering from other creatures. जो दूसरे भौतिक शरीर है उनसे जो सफरिंग आती है, जैसे सास से, बहू से, राइट, तो वो भी आदि भौतिक. या कुछ मॉस्किटो काट लिया, लगता है कल रात में काफी मच्छर काटे, सो दैट इज आदि भौतिक. देन आदि दैविक मतलब कमिंग फ्रॉम द देवी देवतास. देवी देवतास डायरेक्ट तो आपको देने से रहे, कैसे देंगे? सूखा पड़ गया, बाढ़ आ गई, दोज काइंड ऑफ कैलेमिटीज, राइट. सो अ लॉट ऑफ हीट इज देयर, सो दैट थिंग नेचुरल डिजास्टर, दोज आर कॉल्ड थ्री फोल्ड मिजरीज. नाउ स्थित प्रज्ञ पर्सन, he is fixed in his mind in all those conditions. That means we'll go back, right? When he is very happy, what does he do? He's not, when he gets something, or first, sorry, when he is disturbed in mind, when some adverse condition comes, some distress comes, he is not too much lamenting or grieving about it. He's not very much disturbed that this bad thing happened to me and what shall I do? Dhavet, like this is Adibhautik. Hmm? This is Adibhautik distress. So, when some adverse condition comes, it is he is not distressed, right? In those conditions, he is not too much lamenting about it. And also when the happy condition comes, he is not too elated. Arey, pass to party hai. Thing. He will not be too much happy about it, and he is free from attachment, fear, and anger. Right. All those things. And when someone has all those things, that is kind of person is called Stitha Prajna in Samadhi. Any question? Yes. I did not get a question. Why Devi Devata do the natural disaster? That's what you are saying. So, logic of karma you understand, right? Whatever happens to us, it's because of the karma. Hmm? There is something called collective karma, and that is also from the scriptures only. Collective karma means जैसे बाढ़, flooding, take heat, all those kind of conditions, all those calamities, those are collective karma. When there is a collective karma of the whole population of that area, right, and they have to get one result in the form of that, which has to be paid in that form. That will happen together in that area. Like, as an example, what our Shastra says that the places where cows are slaughtered, that place will be बंद करो, प्रभु जी बंद करो. That place will be having natural calamity in form of drought. There will not be rain for a long, long time. बंद करो, बंद करो. So the collective. So why that happens? Because that is the collective karma of that population. So a lot of time people also ask, वहाँ तो बच्चा था. He also died. What collective karma that guy had? Yes, he had collective karma from his previous life. It's all God's plan. He made all those people at the same time, at the same place. When Kedarnath, that happened. It was not all the people who were just living there, but it was a lot of people who were at that site at that point of time when that flood came, flash flood, right? A landslide. It's called collective karma. Very difficult to understand, but Lord says that don't try to understand karma how it works because you can never do that. So whatever is written, just believe that everything is God's plan in any way, right? He is doing something, it's His plan. So there are a lot of books, Prabhuji, which talks, a lot of Puran talks about this karma cycle. Okay. We'll tell. Even Bhagavad Gita talks a lot about this karma, right? The whole chapter 3 is about karma. 4 also has a lot part of karma, right? But if you think that I will come to know what I did, what will I get, no books talk about it. So that way you will not get because it's impossible to understand that. If that's what you are thinking, that if I'm eating meat, then I'll get this kind of result only. That's not how it works. It's all God's plan. Maya Devi plans it in under direction of Krishna. Right? So that you may not know. But what happens because of karma, what karma is, how it works, these things, even Bhagavad Gita talks about a lot. Our whole chapter 3 is about that. Any other question? So, now how does a Stitha Prajna person react when he is in distress or happiness? How would he react? Very simple answer. Equipoised, right? Somehow. Now, let's say what Srila Prabhupada says that. It is said that every Muni has, okay, the word Muni, so why Muni is talking about? Because here came, Sthiti Munir Uchyate. Right, so it's being talked about Muni. He is the sage of steady mind. So, the word Muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation. Muni, I have man se. The word came from the word man. Man means mind. So they do the mental speculation and then they reach the conclusion. Those people are called Muni. So there is difference between Rishi, Muni, Sadhu, right? These all are not same. Even though they may look like same, wearing same type of clothes and all those things, whatever they wear, right? But they are not same. Muni means someone who does by mental concoction. They are called Muni. So Srila Prabhupada writes that it is said that every Muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a Muni differs from other Munis, he cannot be called Muni in the strict sense of term. If a Muni follows a Muni, he is not a Muni. He has to be different. He has to have a different ideal understanding of it. Some other way. Maybe the result may be same, but his way of thinking should be different. Then only he is called a Muni. If it's like मेरे गुरु ने ऐसा कहा तो मैं भी यही कर रहा हूँ, then he is not a Muni because he is not following his man. So he is not a Muni. Now, yes, Prabhu. Muni is philosopher in a English way. Yes. Huh? Sankhya, Gemini, Muni. Right. सांख्य योगा जिन्होंने दिया.
बुद्धा को भी शांति मिली.
हाँ, ऋषि मुनि साधु सन्यास सब है. ऋषि की डेफिनेशन थोड़ी सी अलग है, हमेशा परंपरा नहीं होती है. ठीक, ऋषि is also someone from parampara and also who does a lot of, who has complete control on his mind. ठीक. Muni may not, but Rishi must have. ठीक. He has to, मतलब at least उसका गोल ये होना चाहिए. So after that, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the Sthir Dhir Muni is, but that is Muni who does his mental concoction. But then there is a kind of Muni which is called Sthir Dhir Muni. What are those? Or he is the Muni who is always in Krishna consciousness because he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. So after he did a lot of mental speculation, he reached a conclusion. Now he is sure that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know, and I am servant of the God. So only by serving I can reach the Vaikuntha. Now he is certain on that path. He is called Sthit Prajna Muni because Sthit Prajna means, what does that mean? Equipoised, one pointed focus, right? Completely concentrated. And the one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculation and has come to the conclusion that Lord Krishna is Vasudeva and everything is everything. That Vasudev Sarvamiti, Sarva Sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. Vasudev he is everything. ऐसे महात्मा बहुत दुर्लभ है. It's very rare to find such kind of Mahatma who have this understanding. Right? He is called the Muni fixed in mind, Sthit Prajna Muni. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaught of the threefold miseries. For he accepts all the miseries as the mercy of Supreme of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeed, and sees that his, so we'll discuss that point, right? And he sees that his miseries by the grace of Lord are minimized to the lowest. Now, the question was, what was the question which we are discussing? What question is he answering? Krishna. How does he? How does he speak? How does he speak? How does he respond to that condition? Now, how does he respond to the condition when it's a distressful condition, adverse condition? How does a Sthit Prajna Muni respond? So, what he does, that he says that, okay, this is God's plan, this is Krishna's plan. If it is happening with me, there must be I would have done such kind of actions in my past or past life that I have to pay in that way. It is all my fault. And Krishna is just trying to give me punishment or give me that karma, result of that karma, and to purify me so that it will be gone. That's what he thinks. And because he thinks in that way, because I did it, so I'm paying for it. Think of a way that, okay, that's why he does not feel a lot of lamentation and a lot of sadness in that. Now think of that. How can you understand it? In office, you wrote some wrong code, and it was caught in the review. And someone told you did very wrong. Because this is not correct. This because of this code that those all things will happen. Would you actually feel bad because someone caught your wrong code? Would you feel bad? No, right? You'll feel okay. हाँ, मतलब मेरी गलती थी. You'll not really feel bad. At the same time, someone else wrote code, your junior, let's say, or maybe your colleague, who has left the office. He has resigned and enjoying his life some other company, right? And because now his job is your job, and someone told, what kind of code is this? It is not working. This will happen. What will you? Will you feel bad or good? Very bad, right? That's natural because that was not your fault. So if you are being called out for no fault of yours, you'll feel bad. But if you are being called out for actually you did fault, you will actually not feel that bad. So when you start thinking in that way, that this is happening to me because I did something in the past due to which I am paying for this, you will actually not feel bad. You will not feel that much of distress when you think in that way, right? But when you think that नहीं ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है मेरे साथ ही क्यों, that means you are not thinking it is happening because of your karma. Then you will actually feel um, a lot of distress and you will be disturbed in mind, right? So thinking in that way, that's how we have to tweak it. So that was about when he is sad. When he is happy, then what he does? Then he does that. What he does? I don't even deserve this. God has given me, say, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh of bonus. I don't even deserve this. But because God has given, I will try to utilize in God's service. But yes, it is not because of my endeavor I got this. It is God's mercy that I have gotten this. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. When he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that due to only due to the Lord's grace, he is in such comfortable condition and able to render the better service to the Lord. Because God is kind on me, that's why I am getting this. Not because I did something, I am getting this. And because it's God's prasadam, it can be this small also, it can be that much also. So he is not too much elated. Like in happiness, he was saying, because my karma, I am suffering this. For happiness, distress. For happiness, he is saying, because it's God's mercy, so I am getting this. Not because of my endeavor. He thinks like that. So, now, for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by the attachment or aversion. So, when he has to do something, some difficult service or something daring, आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं, आज तो हम मॉस्क में जाके भगवत गीता बेच के आएंगे. Don't try to do that. Don't blame me later if you do that, right? So, I'm just giving an example, just a joke, right? But when something that happens, he's doing something which is like maybe things go out of his hand. He does not become angry. He does not start feeling sad. He is not. He is not too attached to it, because why? His thinking is, God has just sent me to do this job. It is not my plan, right? So you sent me to do the book distribution. I tried my best, but it is your plan. You did not send anyone who can take the book. I'm not distressed. I'm not angry, or something bad happened. It is again your plan. I did my best, whatever I can, right? So I'm not attached to it, to the job, because it's a God's plan. I'm just a nimitt matra. I'm just a medium to do this thing. So you will not feel fear or krodh or attachment riti because of that, right? So these three things he will also not feel. So while not feel sad in distress condition, why he will be not sad? Because what is the answer? Because he thinks that it is my karma that I am suffering. In happiness condition, why he will not feel too elated? I don't deserve this. It's God's mercy that I am getting this. Right. His mercy I am getting this, His mercy I will not get this. It's not my endeavor. And why he does not get angry when something does not go according to his plan? No, because it's God's plan, not my plan. It's God's plan, the responsibility is God's. You take your plan's responsibility. I don't care. ठीक, आपको करवाना होगा तो करवाइए. आपको you want to distribute 100 books, you decide how you do this. I am there. I am there to do my book distribution. I will be there from morning to evening. Now sending to people is your job, not my job. So I'm not angry, I'm not distressed, I'm not sad that आज एक भी book नहीं गई. ठीक है, I did my job. Right. So one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment because his life is dedicated to the service of the Lord. And a very important point with respect to service also. You should not get too much attached to the service. This is my service, I am so attached. Oh, एक दिन नहीं करूँगा. Or if someone else is given that service, how that person will do, how we are going to do that service. Don't get too attached. You were part of the plan, maybe you are not part of the plan this time. Let others be part of the plan. Be detached. But when you get it, do your best, do it perfectly. Right. That's what here it is. Consequently, he is not at all angry, even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. Like doing things is best. He is consistent, he is steady, he will do the things with his full effort. But he does not worry about the result. And that is Niskam Karma. Right. So, doing all this thing, it will teach us the dependence on Krishna. When we talk about the plan, that this is Krishna's plan, that means I am depending on Krishna. I am surrendering to you. This is your plan, you decide how you are going to do. Right. So that gives us the dependence on Krishna. And that we were discussing about the desire before. Now this dependence on Krishna is actually surrendering to Krishna is intrinsic part of our intrinsic property of our soul. So it is not difficult. That can be done. Right. And you cannot remove it. What happens? Why we forget? Because it's covered by the Man Buddhi Ahankar. So we forget it. But in the end, that is our ultimate purpose. Right. So when a person starts practicing bhakti or Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a spiritual master, all these coverings which creates the contamination, that gets removed one by one. And many wonderful qualities start coming up in that person. One of those qualities is dependence on Krishna. Right? He will start thinking that how can I surrender to Krishna for everything what I have in life, in all circumstances. That is a surrendering to Krishna. Any question?
So, in this process of trying to surrender to Krishna, so it still go through some problems or pain, sufferings like that. So that doesn't go away. Still have to
Your miseries will not go away. That will come to next slide. Take it. We'll discuss that also. Right. We'll come. That question. Let's park it. Any other question?
Whenever there is a war, they never hesitate to protect their people. But here, we always selfish. We'll be protecting ourselves first, then
Family, then society, then maybe अगर time मिला तो देश सोचा जाए. So what is the question?
because of the yuga, due to this Kali Yuga, we are in this behavior. Or
Yes, it is a part of. It is actually effect of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we have less intelligence, less mind, but less age, less of everything, less devotion. Right. So because our intelligence is less, we are more into selfish mode. First me, myself, my family, then we'll think about any other thing. So yes, it is the effect of Kali Yuga. You can say that. But it is not just Kali Yuga. Also, um, a lot of effect of our upbringing, our understanding, a lot of things. But because it's all happening in Kali Yuga, so you can say that it's the effect of Kali Yuga. Yeah. Any other question? No? So we'll go to the next one. So with that, we'll finish. यह सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यह सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So I'll explain. But in previous verse, Lord Krishna talked about that how does he speak, what things how does he respond, how he should respond. Now in this verse, Krishna is going to talk about how he should not respond, what he should not speak. A Stitha Prajna person, what he should not speak. So what he should not speak? One who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So Shubha Shubham, Shubh Ashubham. So when something Shubh happens to him, something good happens to him, he is not affected. Like he does not start praising for it. Oh, itna acha hua. This is the best thing. Thank you so much. Like that, right? कि प्रभु आप नहीं होते तो ये नहीं होता. Not he does not start praising, going over the top. See, praising is not a problem, but when you go over praising, it becomes flattery, right? So he does not go into that mode. And also, when something bad happens, the evil things happen, he does not start despising it. Why this happened with me? Why this has happened? All those things. Right? So, what he talks, what he does not talk. He does not praise too much unnecessarily. He does not despise too much unnecessarily. Or, the best thing is, does not praise, does not despise. But we need to have motivation, do the praising and all. So, that's not bad. But yes. And someone who does that, they are in the perfect knowledge. Now, your question, coming to your question. What was the question? Okay. Even if we are in Krishna consciousness, why do misery come to us? Why still these things come? Because you are in the part of that world where it's called Dukhalaya Masaswatam. What you do does not matter. You will be having miseries in your life. There is no way out. दुखालय means आलय मतलब जहाँ रहते हैं, दुख जहाँ दुख ही रहता है, अशाश्वतम and it's temporary. Not dukh is temporary. Actually, dukh is also temporary. In between, sukh will come, but it will always keep on coming. Your graph will keep on going. Maybe your dukh का graph ज़्यादा होता है, sukh का graph कम होता है. But this will keep on happening. So this world is designed in a way that it is dukhalaya masaswatam. So whether you do bhakti or you don't do any bhakti, आपने कभी नाम भी नहीं सुना, you will be facing miseries in your life. You will be having difficulties. But what is the difference then? Huh? Being balanced, when you don't decide, you don't get to decide whether you want to take dukh or sukh. कि थोड़ा सा दुख उठा लेते हैं, थोड़ा और सुख उठा लेंगे. You are not someone who can decide that. Then what balance are you talking about? How do we take? How do we respond? And that's what is being discussed here, right? How does the Stitha Prajna person choose to respond in those conditions? Even though we are in Dukhalaya Masaswatam, full of dukh, it's a temporary world. right? There'll always be life quakes. You know what is life quake? We heard about earthquake, right? What happens in earthquake? Uh, a lot of devastation, destruction, lot of destruction, right? And earthquakes are not that hmm, dangerous. It's very dangerous. Earthquakes are not that frequent phenomenon. Right? How many of us have been in an earthquake? None of us, right? We have seen flood and all those things, tornado, cyclone, and this, but earthquakes are not that. So in our life also, a lot of time life quick comes. When your life goes upside down, something happens, right? But Sthit Prajna, being in Samadhi, is to know that how to respond in those conditions. Right. That is the whole point of learning Gita. That is the whole point of sitting in the class. If we are not able to do that, it's of no use. Right. Ups and downs will be there. The big changes will come. The life quakes will be there. Right. It's no way that it is not going to happen. Whether you have all the money, whether you have no money, it would come one time or other. And on an average, every person in his lifetime have 5 to 6 life quakes. Life quakes are not small thing. Promotion नहीं मिला. These are literally small thing. ये company से termination, you can say that is a life quake because that makes your life upside down. Death in a family, right? Some accidents, big disease. These are life quakes. So that will come, but then we have to be prepared how we are going to, how we are choosing to respond in those conditions. So, a Sthit Prajna person, when something good happens, like someone gave him a good gift, so much gift, जैसे प्रभु जी को 4 करोड़ किसी ने दे दिया, right? So he'll not be to प्रभु जी, आप नहीं होते तो मैं बंगला कैसे खरीदता, right? आपकी ही कृपा से है ये, ठीक है? और then he start praising him all the way, पेपर में छपवा देंगे, ठीक है? और मतलब I'm going probably over the top, पेपर में कोई नहीं छपवाएगा, वरना और लोग उस बंदे के पास पहुंच जाएंगे, मुझे भी थोड़ा दे दो, right? But too much praise, or so he does not start praising about how great the other person is. And the vice versa also. When something bad happens, he does not start beating the person. ऐसे क्यों किया? ये क्या किया? ऐसे बोलने को बोला, करने को बोला था. Why this and that? And he becomes equipoised, thinking that it's God's plan. He does not start cursing in bad situations, right? So why? So let's understand with just 5 more minutes, probably less than that. Right. Let's understand with this story. Why? How does that work? Why do you think that Sthit Prajna would be started working in equipoised manner and he will not do this thing? And before that, like why he does not start doing that? The answer is here because what is that? When he is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge, when he is into Krishna consciousness, then he will not start doing all those things. Now, why? Why Krishna consciousness makes people not to do these things? Why do you think? Hmm? It's what?
Supreme personality.
Supreme person, what?
The supreme personality of God.
But why do you start responding in a better way? Supreme personality, Godhead is there. But suddenly, someone who is in Krishna consciousness, why they start responding in a much better way? Why they start becoming equipoised? How does Krishna consciousness is related to this? That's a 10 mark answer. I want 1 or 2 mark answer.
Krishna becomes the intelligence of our mind.
Krishna becomes intelligence of our mind, okay?
Whatever he given,
Quite, you know,
whatever knowledge system he has given, become the intelligence of us.
uh,
It will do all the
okay. What is Mataji? Karma? They become satisfied, they become content with these things, right? But there is a deeper thing to it. Let's understand with this story. So there was a cribber. Cribber, you know, someone who always cribs. ये ऐसा है, वो ऐसा है, ठीक है, ये ऐसे कर दिया, इसने ऐसे कर दिया, वो ये करता है, ये करता है. Like, all time just finding fault in people and talking ill about people. He thinks that everyone is against him. The whole world is conspiring against him as if he is Donald Trump. Right. So he thinks that everyone is like finding fault in him. Everyone does things badly and imperfectly. So he all the time talks about that. So he goes to the king and he says that he starts cribbing. Right? Everyone is doing this and this and that. And no one, everyone is doing my burai, like talking bad and ill about me. I don't know what is the problem. This person has that problem. That person has that problem. He just started cribbing about them. Okay, that no one likes me. Everyone cribs about me and this and that and all those things. So after listening to his story, Raja understood the problem is not in the people around him. The problem is in this guy. So he told, okay, I will give you a pot full of oil to the brim. मतलब एकदम top तक. Take, and that's a good pot. You take it on your head, take a circumambulation of the palace, and not a single drop should fall from the pot. If it falls, your head falls. Yes. So you're like, at least people cursing me, people talking bad things about me, that is better. Why did I do this? This king is even mad. He was 100 times madder than those people. I think they are just saying, he is going to cut my head if one single drop falls. But what choice does he have? He still has to do that because it's a king's command. There's no way out. So, with like that kind of consciousness, he took the pot on his head and he started circumambulating. This is AI image. He may not be the correct guy, right? He starts circumambulating. मतलब महल का चक्कर लगाने लगा. और महल पता ही है कितना बड़ा होता है. When he came back, then the king asked, and actually not a single drop fell. Great, right? The king asked, so did you see the people around you? What they were talking? He said, you think that I can focus on that? You think that I can realize who is around me and what they are talking? My head was on the line. If one single drop will fall, I am not here to tell you what they were talking. Right. So, what did you understand from the story? Higher goal nahi Matari. Life in the line, his concentration was completely on one thing. Not a single drop should fall. He stopped the person who was seeing faults in everyone, like this is doing that, this is doing that, this is doing that. Now he has not heard a single word from what people would have said. कितने लोगों ने क्या पागल आदमी है क्या किया? अब तो जा बेटा, अब तो बहुत कुछ लोगों ने बोला होगा. But he did not heard a single word because his full concentration was on that thing. That's how Krishna consciousness works. Right. Our full concentration is on serving Krishna. We don't care about what people are saying. तिलक लगा के जा रहे, धोती पहन के जा रहे, लोग क्या कहेंगे? I don't care. उनके कहने से मैं धोती पहनना नहीं बंद कर दूंगा. उनके कहने से मैं तिलक लगाना नहीं बंद कर दूंगा. आप ऑफिस तिलक नहीं लगा के जा रहे, प्रभु जी क्लास में तिलक लगा के नहीं आए हैं कि रास्ते में लोग क्या कहेंगे. ठीक. तो लोगों के कहने से आपका कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होगा. आज वो कहेगा, कल को कोई और कहेगा, कल आप लगा के जाओगे, हो सकता है कुछ लोग कह रहे हो, वाह, आई शुड लर्न फ्रॉम दिस गाय, एटलीस्ट आई कैन गो टू ऑफिस विद तिलक, राइट? सो वी स्टॉप वरिंग अबाउट दिस मटेरियलिस्टिक थिंग्स बिकॉज आवर वन पॉइंटेड फोकस इज ऑन कृष्णा. टेक वन पॉइंटेड फोकस. That's how Krishna consciousness works. Because when we are completely focused on one thing, serving Krishna, these all materialistic things, these all distractions around us, these don't work at all. We don't even notice them. Forget about being affected from them. Right. So, These small things ultimately don't matter. And that's what Srila Prabhupada mentioned here as well. Right? The same thing, that this is what called samadhi, because the person is only concentrated, only concerned about the Krishna, who is all good, absolute. Now, the question comes, how to become such focus? How to become focused? It's easier said, right? You focus karo, one pointed focus, think only about Krishna, serve only Krishna. But how to do that? Huh? Huh? Chanting? What else? Serving? Doing chanting? Serving Krishna devotees? What else? संपर्क में रहना. हाँ, पहला पहला आपका पहला सेशन डिवाइस का वही था. पहला था या दूसरा था? दूसरा था. A B C D E. That's what it is, right? कि do the chanting, do your sadhana properly. Most important is, if your sadhana is proper, everything else will fall in place. Two, the most important thing from A B C D E is sadhana and association. Because if your sadhana goes down, association will pick you up. If your association goes down, sadhana will pick you. Sadhana does not mean keval chanting. Sadhana also means reading scriptures, right? Attending classes, all those things. Actually, B is also there, right? So, yes. So, sadhana means sadhana does not include just chanting ही करना. Chanting is the most important part of sadhana, but not only important part of sadhana. तो कितने लोग हम में से साधना फॉर्म भर रहे हैं? क्या है? अब प्रभु जी पूछे वो क्या है? हाँ? तो साधना, I will change the form itself. ठीक है? What I realized, it's a real thing. What I have experienced. So because it's my experience, so I'm sharing, and how great it works. So previously we used to fill मतलब अभी भी in our congregation we fill weekly sadhana form. Now when I am also now part of His Holiness Hindu Swami Maharaj group. There is a sadhana form, daily sadhana form. You have to say what time you wake up. By 7:30 a.m. how many rounds you have finished. By 12 p.m. how many rounds you have finished. By 10 in the night how many rounds you have finished. What time you have finished the round. Did you do the DT service? Did you attend the temple program? Either a temple or home, morning program. Right. What services you did? How much, what and how much did you read? All those things. आपका पूरा ABCD पूरा cover करके. How much did you listen that day? And what lecture did you listen? Every day you have to fill that thing. And what I realized that, since I started filling that it actually works like a miracle. Because if I put any day no, it actually एक वो होता है ना, खुद से अंदर से बुरा लगता है. एक दिन नो किया, दूसरे दिन भी नो किया, मतलब 2 दिन तक I did not study a single thing even for 20 minutes or 10 minutes. It works. Right. So let's change the form and start. That is your form only. It is not for me. मेरा कुछ नहीं जाएगा. It is for you. Right. So let's start filling the form. We'll change the form and we'll follow that thing. You will keep track of your own sadhana, how you are doing. It's not difficult to take out 10 minutes of your time in day to read 2 sloka of Bhagavad Gita. It's not difficult when you are going on the way to listen to one lecture. आपको कुछ नहीं लेना है कि ईयरफोन लेना है, ब्लूटूथ ईयरफोन. इवन ऑन द बाइक हेलमेट अगर पहन के आते तो आप कान में लगा सकते हैं, नहीं पहने तो भी लगा सकते हैं, बट हेलमेट नहीं पहनना इज नॉट अलाउड हियर. हेलमेट पहनना ही, राइट, या सीट बेल्ट लगाना ही. पुट इट इन ईयर. आप जब तक घर जाओगे आपके 20 मिनट में यू विल हियर अ पार्ट ऑफ लेक्चर. इट्स नॉट डिफिकल्ट. You have to combine those things. So sadhana, that's how we become focused. When our sadhana is going stronger, our focus is going to be stronger. So chanting is most important, but not only important thing. Sadhana also includes all other things like reading, listening, chanting, doing services, right? Waking up in the morning, finishing up round as early as possible, or at least more round in the morning hours. This is all part of sadhana. And so that's what we should strive for. Right. And the most important part of sadhana is anyway. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So any questions? नहीं, सब आप अपना फॉर्म खुद बना सकते हैं. एक कॉन्ग्रीगेशन में एक फॉर्म होता है. हाँ, नाम प्रेम प्रभु जी का एक फॉर्म है which is followed by a lot of places like पुणे, मुंबई में similar form is followed. But that is weekly. हाँ, that's correct. Every congregation मतलब every शिक्षक every मतलब group can have their own sadhana form. आप चाहे तो weekly भी बनी along with I feel both. I feel both. आप डेली करते हो तो वीकली इजी, उसमें कुछ नहीं, कंबाइन करके डालना ही तो है. दैट्स मोस्ट इजियर एक्चुअली, यू ट्रैक इट. द डेली इज द बेस्ट वे टू डू दैट. वीकली में कुछ नहीं करना है, you just have to take the data, put it in that, and you are done. Set. Right. More easier. So if we do daily, it works wonder. This is what I feel. In the end, like people say, when we have time, सोने से पहले आपको 5 मिनट, it's just 7-8 कॉलम, 5 मिनट आप मोबाइल में जो इंस्टाग्राम देखते हो थोड़ा एक रील कम करके उतने में हो जाएगा, और मे बी हाफ रील, 2 रील. That's all it takes. If no question, we'll finish. Any question? One check out the release check the pass into pay check patana पाऊंगी भी वैष्णव भी नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव बिंदु की जैसे डबल पार तुझे दाई गौर प्रेम दे हरि को हरि कृष्ण.